Well, hello, folks. This is Mike Hanson here, and we appreciate you watching my new YouTube channel, Hanson Archives. Be sure to subscribe there, hit the subscribe button, and I have a new YouTube channel that we're going to put all the Waco stuff on, Waco Archives. And don't forget our other channel, Mike Hanson Archives. And if you'd like to help out getting all these thousands of tapes uploaded to YouTube, I am offering a special. If you send $25 into this address the lady is going to put up on the screen, we'll send you a signed copy of my book, Bohemian Grove, Cult of Conspiracy. And it was forwarded by Tex Mars. It just recently passed away. So our address there is 901 St. Joseph Street in Gonzales, Texas. So, and if you want to call us for any reason, our number is 830-672-3089. Be sure to keep subscribing, and if you want to look us up on Facebook, it's Mike Hanson, Hanson, from Gonzales, Texas. Alrighty, stay tuned right here on these channels for all these classics. Alex Jones, Jeff Davis, and a bunch of other great Patriots. So we'll see you next time. Keep supporting us. We need the support. It's costing a lot of money. God bless you.
To the establishment, we have this to say to you.
Problems in our country, yes, we live in troubled times. There are far too many criminals and far too many crimes. I'm locking every window and I'm bolting every door. The tool I use in self-defense will even up the score. You can rant, you can rave, you can make your demands, and you can take my gun from my cold dead hands. Global corporations, they have billions that they pay to the greedy politicians who make sure things go their way. They tax us into poverty and we live from day to day. To them we're useless eaters, we don't get to have a say. You want to crash this Constitution? Is that what's in your plan? You can take my gun from my cold dead hand. In every case through history, when genocide was planned, the firearms were gathered up and the opposition banned. The tyrants made distractions and the people looked away. And by the time they realized they couldn't get away, the smiling face on my TV says we should all join hands and help create this vision of a new world order plan. We'll downsize our defenses, give our bases all away to a UN global peace force, and we'll do just what they say. Take your globalist agenda and your new world order plans, and you can take my gun from my cold dead hands.
Hello folks, this is Jeff Davis with the legendary Jeff Davis Show from Central Texas, USA. And I love Mike Hanson Archives. Peace out.
Why
baby.
are they wearing ski masks?
It's a threat producing, it's a very much a psycho threat producing visual aspect. Many times they'll have a goggle sand wind dust over their eyes, which obscures the eyes, makes them look like they have real big bug eyes. That one guy on the far right, as I'm looking at TV over your left shoulder, he's got some goggles on. That helps produce a surreal image. And
and a secretive one.
Well, it's secretive.
You know what happens when I see something like that? It gets me infuriating. Makes me want to charge that animal.
That's an animal that's already ready to pull a trigger.
Oh, I know.
All right, so you need to pursue this. Your previous caller was right. You've got to pursue this. And Mike Hanson.
Now look, there's some older police, and they're not wearing ski masks.
Well, they come from a different era. And the indoctrination that's going on right now in the police force is just like that paper I showed you, I wrote for you. It's the same thing. This is a very bad thing.
Well,
it's
listen,
a very bad trend.
I look forward to seeing you. And I want to see you out at the seminar. And Joyce Riley's going to be there.
Yeah,
Captain
she's staying at the house that night.
Yeah, Captain Joyce Riley of the Gulf War Veterans Illness. And she's going to prove it to you with government documents gained through the Freedom of Information Act. Again, that's the last Sunday every month on North IH-35 from 1 to 6 p.m. Hap, I'm going to go ahead
Take care,
and...
man. I'll get off. You can't let this one rest. This is an opportunity, and the people out there who are willing to do something other than listen to shortwave and tape your shows and send them around, it's time to stand. If I need to, I'll stand right next to you. I don't care. This is an opportunity, man. You can't let this one go.
Well, I'll go ahead and pursue it, but I really don't. You know, I don't fault the officer. I fault
he's put in a bad position, and his behavior.
He was wanting to show off for the commissioners.
Well, whatever his motivation was, it was a wrong act. And
well, yeah, I mean, I have no criminal record.
It needs to come out in the court. What was the indicator for potential criminal behavior?
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate your call, Hap.
Take care.
Take care, buddy. All right, I'm going to go to... Is Jeff Davis here?
He'll be here in just a minute.
Well, where is he?
I think he's here, but he's not ready yet. So.
All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to one more phone call, and then we're going to go to this tape for a couple minutes. And you've already seen the tape. It's again some of the stuff that's going on in our society. It'll just be about 4 or 5 minutes while we usher Jeff in here to talk about what's been happening, and we'll take your phone calls. Another show's been kind of moving along at a strange pace. We'll take your phone calls in the last 20 minutes or so, but we're going till... Oh, yes, I do have to thank my sponsor. This show is 98.9 KJFK FM radio, supporting free speech here in Austin, Texas. So I want to thank 98.9 KJFK FM radio that sponsor my show and my weekend evening radio show on 98.9 KJFK. So this program is sponsored by KJFK. Thank you, 98.9 KJFK, for having the will to support me in my endeavors to expose the growing corruption of our nation. All Talk Radio, 98.9. All right, we'll go to one more call. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, Alex?
Yes.
My name is Linda. I'm a first-time caller. I'm extremely nervous, so please bear with me.
That's all right. Go ahead. Don't worry.
I just wanted to share some things that have happened to me with my children going to public schools. Not in Austin, but in Friendswood, Texas.
Well, let's call them what they are. They have standardized testing. They have standardized control. They have federal standardized test. You know, it's just all controlled. It's cookie cutter, so it is. It's government. It's training centers. It's government training centers. That's not an exaggeration. That's not a label. That's what they are.
I totally agree with that. My oldest daughter came home one day when they teach child drug abuse in school and accused me of being a drug addict because I smoke or would take a Tylenol. And it had her so confused and upset. She cried and she didn't know what to do, and she said, "Mommy, I had to go to the school counselor." I also had them send me a letter telling me it was very possible I was going to have to go to truancy court because my child had chicken pox and was out for a little over a week.
Isn't it a beautiful system? I mean, now your kid's sick. I mean, used to, again, I mean, I'm a young man. It wasn't too many years ago when my mother was writing notes for me to go to school, a doctor's note.
Well, you can't do that anymore.
It's fascism. They're showing you who the kids are, and they're telling you it takes a village to raise your kids. That is not any little trifle joke. Hillary Clinton is a fascist worker of the Rockefeller Rothschilds British power axis. They are agents. This is all true. And every fascist government, every authoritarian government takes control of the kids, from the Hitler Jugend to Stalin's youth camps to Mao's Children of the Cultural Revolution to Fidel Castro. They focus on the youth because they are helpless people molding themselves to their helpless people yielding themselves to their molding hands. That's a David Rockefeller quote. That's what the government training centers are.
Well, it's totally true. And also what's scary is when your child comes home and threatens you that they can call Child Protective Services if you are going to try and discipline them.
Well, they're fixing to have the UN Summit on the Rights of the Child. And, you know, that's something during the break I'm going to try to find. It is, I believe it's actually at the end of this tape. And when we go to break, after we come back, I'll try to find that. And it shows little Chinese girls tied down to beds to starve to death in China, and the UN has been giving them dozens of awards.
Well, another thing I wanted to share, there is a biblical prophecy that children will oppress their parents. And I feel that the government is using this to keep us under their thumb. And put out these new laws as well. And I also was flipping around on the station one day, and I caught just the very end of it when Clinton was making a speech. Maybe we can teach the children so they can teach their parents.
Yes, that's one of his sayings.
And the whole thing to me is alarming, and it is getting out of control.
Well, children have always oppressed their parents. Evil governments, going back to Babylon, have nurtured the youth and always tried to turn them against their parents because there is fervor in youth. There is group psychology is much stronger in the youth.
Ancient Israel
and hold
did
on,
it
as a society, we are all like children now mentally. I mean, adults are supposed to care about standing up for what they believe is right, and damn it, what I think is what I think, and I have enough respect of myself to think that I can have an opinion. Nowadays, you're not supposed to have an opinion in our culture unless it's handed down from some elitist or some supposed loving bureaucrat who, again, is really just a fascist technician of slavery, calling themselves a liberal. And they have all these peer pressure groups and all these group psychology, conditioning they're using. And our whole culture, we're a bunch of insecure brats at 50 years old, and I am too. And that's what we are, is a bunch of spoiled kids. So they want us all, the state wants us to be the kids. It's visions of the anointed. And that's what it is. They have visions of how we're going to live. They know best. We are there to be dominated. And that's what they're going to do unless we, all of us, have just start, man, I'm telling you, we can do it. I mean, if you tell somebody and they tell somebody, not about my show, but just start energizing, get educated, start standing up. Don't go crazy about it. Just say, damn it, this is bull. And let people know and quit putting up with it and believe in yourself. What you believe matters. Education is the key. And the enemy knows that, because what is education? It's conditioning. We have to counter-condition people. Listen, I really appreciate your call.
Well, I just wanted to say, to me, this is a very important issue because I feel like this is how they are trying to control us in a lot of ways by using our children and turning them against us.
Absolutely.
And
ma'am,
also,
Jeff Davis needs to go ahead and come on in, so let me go ahead and let you go.
Well, I did want to let you know my kids are now being homeschooled, and thank you.
Did you know that homeschool kids statistically have 30 to 40% higher grades, and the colleges recruit them?
Yes, I did, because I had to fight so hard to try and get them to teach my children to read.
Yes. Did you know that homeschooling is illegal in several states?
Yes.
I appreciate your call. And those are the states with the worst crime that are just total cesspools up north.
One last note on that is that my sister was homeschooled, and she went to Boston University on a full scholarship at 16 years old.
That's right. So that's what it comes down to, and you went to public school and are like me. Okay, let's go ahead and go to this tape and just for 2 or 3 minutes, and then get Jeff Davis in here. We'll be right back.
They'll continue to accelerate the federal plans that are handed down to them by their advisors. That's bureaucrats for you. So dangerous because they're so ignorant and so self-serving. And they've got the SWAT team to back them up from people with their kids coming to talk about things that they don't appreciate. They're the ones that are threatening the military and the government and these guys, not Alex Jones and Mike Hanson and Jeff Davis, for God's sakes. These are the people that raise your taxes. These are the people that regulate you into absolute subhuman standards. These are the people that are deindustrializing our nation. Actually, these are the low-level technicians that just believe whatever they're told. And it's time that they start addressing what they're involved in. It's time we start putting pressure on them. And this parental rights issue is absolutely paramount to what we're talking about here. And then the SWAT team coming, that just puts the cherry on the cake. Puts the cherry on the sundae. It's just unbelievable. We really are in a police state, my friends. Here's a lady that heard about it from our TV shows and came down. Her children One of them was having surgery, and she called the school. Didn't matter. Her kid was in Seton. Here comes the truant officer. We'll just hear it from her.
They couldn't guarantee me the truant officer wouldn't come after she had had surgery. She was going to be out a week. What's wrong with the system that we are paying for these people to come and beat on our doors at 8 o'clock at night when we do it right? We do everything right. I care for my children. My husband wanted to be here today to speak. He has to work today. I have multiple health problems. I don't need this. We make sure that our children are taken care of. When that commercial comes on, do you know where your children are? Yes, my children are home, in bed, asleep. I don't need this heartache for some man with a gun to come to my door and tell me things that aren't even true. There's got to be a way that we can work this out. Something better. Truancy is a problem. What happened to a good old-fashioned phone call from the school? Hey, your kid's not here today. What's going on? They have 6 different numbers they can get in touch with us. Why don't they? Why do we have to pay this man extra when he could be on the streets doing something useful? To catch the criminals, not our children. Thank you for your time. You have a good day.
Well, here's some of our friends. There were a lot of police hanging out on the rooftops. We found it pretty interesting. I think actually, to be fair, there are some SWAT team compounds or sheriff department installations in the surrounding buildings, but they were all pointing at us and making comments. I'll show you some photos of some others on top of some other things. I mean, they were just all down the hallways, you name it. One of my friends got this footage. I wish I'd have brought a camera. I'd have filmed them all down the hallways. There was probably 8 SWAT team people inside of the Commissioner's Court building, courthouse, and there were quite a few more outside. And when I walked outside, they recognized it and were staring at us and having conversations about us. Believe me, I'm not this interesting. I'm definitely not something that they should be concerned with. Maybe they should be concerned with the CIA and the FBI and other institutions and organizations in our country at least letting the drugs come in the country. And that's documented.
Well, MJTF are just swarming. I don't know what's going on over there in that building, but that's where the SWAT team guys, the MJTF, went.
It sure is a very top floor, huh?
It's a beautiful country we live in now today, I got to tell you.
Yes, sir.
Look, here comes more SWAT.
Yeah, come.
More SWAT to make sure we're good.
You know, it's funny. One of these fellows didn't like being talked to. They were coming in to relieve the other guys, and he got a little bit angry. Now, it's funny. They'll come up and talk to you, come sit down beside you and tell you they'll take you to jail if you don't behave just right. Then they don't even like you saying hi to them. When the school bell rings, your children belong to Hillary Clinton in the Rockefeller Village. Think about where we are in this country. This is from tonight's news.
When the school bell rings, your child better be in the classroom or else the law could knock on your front door.
Better
but as
be.
KI's Chris Davis Jones shows us, one
Better
Travis County man is protesting, claiming that knock violates his parental rights.
Mike Hanson lives in far south Travis County. If you come to his house, you have to walk through this gate and ignore the trespassing sign. Last week, a constable's deputy did just that.
A private school would not rap on your door like that.
The officer wanted to know if Hanson knew his 11-year-old son missed school. Hanson says his child was sick and he didn't have time to call the school.
Just because there's crack mothers out here not sending their kids to school, don't come trespass on my property.
Today, Justin stayed home again. This time his dad kept him home in protest.
He has sent swarms of officers.
Hanson and a handful of parents also took their protest to the county commissioner's court meeting this morning. Their message?
Our priorities are screwed up. I mean, we're not worried about carjackers and murderers, but we're worried about, people's kids. And don't punish the whole society just because some people won't send their kids to school.
Constable Ricky Medrano credits the county's truancy program for preventing crime.
Because if a child is in school, the probabilities of the child going out and committing burglaries, auto theft, and just
belongs to us
breaking
now.
into
We
people's
have to
homes,
for the people.
or just less than that much more.
Mike Hanson doesn't buy it. He accuses Travis County commissioners of playing parent.
Margaret Gomez told me that she's doing this because she's a good American. I would submit to everybody out there that this is more like a good Nazi.
Hanson is threatening legal action, and he says if the deputies show up at his home tonight, he'll keep his son home again tomorrow.
Now, Chris, is there any chance of that happening?
Probably not, because the goal of the program is to inform parents in the beginning that their child is out of school, to make sure that they know. Obviously, he knew his child was in school. But in Hanson's precinct, 20% of the parents don't know.
Stay tuned right here for more classics on this channel here, Hanson Archives. But to fund this station, I'm offering, if you send us $25, we'll send you a signed copy of Bohemian Grove Cult of Conspiracy. It was forwarded by Tex Mars that just recently passed away. Also, Alex Jones has a chapter in here. And you know that's good. There's us in our younger days. But on the address that you see, send us $25 and we will send you a signed copy, or give us a call at 830-672-3089 and you can put it on a credit card. We'll send it right out. But that's what we need to help fund this channel, folks. So help us get all the classics uploaded to YouTube. We got hundreds and hundreds of old Alex Jones and Jeff Davis and a bunch of other Patriots that we need to upload. About 25
Again, I'm Alex Jones, and we are back. And of course, they didn't tell you on the news, and that lady's a nice lady. I've met her. Miss Chris Davis Jones is her name. And she didn't tell you, of course, that there are $500 fines involved. And this is just absolutely out of control. Here in town, you have $2,000 a day fines for 3-inch grass, $500 a day fines for your kids missing school, but carjackers and murderers and white-collar criminals have descended upon the city like a flock of carpetbagger locusts. Now, Jeff Davis is here, and I've heard some terrible news. I was there. I have it on tape, and we're obviously going to play it on probably his show Monday, because I have the tape and he has the tape. Jeff Davis's actual statement. And let me tell you what Jeff Davis's actual statement was. He said, God forbid one of these constables continue to trespass on people's property, and God forbid one of them gets shot. We hear that KVET News has been repeatedly, every hour I hear, playing, cutting off, God forbid one of them trespass, God forbid one of them get shot. They're playing one of them. Jeff, tell us what they're saying. You tell us.
Well, from what I didn't actually hear it, but I was told that by two sources that they're cutting off the God forbid if the laws don't change, that one of these constables could possibly end up getting shot out in somebody's front yard. It's just conveniently saying, yeah, one of these constables is possibly going to end up getting shot in the front yard.
Oh, God, they really hate you, man.
Implying
Who did you anger?
We went down there to threaten. Oh, well, Alex, let me tell you something, brother. First off, before I get started here, I want to say that Alex and I kind of have what you would call maybe a love-hate relationship, wouldn't you say?
I don't know what you're talking about.
But the fact is...
Jeff's jealous of me. He brings this up every week. I don't know what he's talking about.
The fact is, this guy, and there's other people now stepping forward.
You must have talked a lot of bad stuff about me lately to be saying this. What are you talking about?
Oh, come on now. You know we have basically what's happening, folks, is we've got a legitimate movement going here in Central Texas. People realize the fact that what we're saying is the truth. And what's happening is, I believe, is all of the different people that are getting involved now have different strategies and different angles as to which way to go. And this is good. This is healthy. And I want to say I appreciate Alex. I appreciate Mike Hanson. Man, that man's standing up strong.
I want to say something about Mike Hanson. I've been over to eat at his house. I say this every week. I've been over to eat at his house probably 20 times. His wife's just a lovely lady. His children are impeccably dressed, nice little kids, great, well-behaved, aren't neurotic like most kids in your society today. I've been to his family reunion when he had, 98-year-old great-grandpeople there who are still sharp, still having good conversations. These are good farmer people.
Mm-hmm.
These are the salt of the earth. And
standing up strong.
Yeah. And, I mean, these are good, decent people. And he's your producer, and when KVUE 24, who's all smearing us out here,
I don't know about that.
or whitewashing the whole thing. I want to go back a little bit.
I will say some good. I do have some good news.
Well, listen. Let me go back first.
Well, let me deliver the good news.
Go ahead.
Because you'll want to hear this. I'm not going to mention the source, but there is somebody inside the Travis County workplace, and they all are privy to watching these commissioners' court things every. Apparently, there were several of the workers in Travis County that were applauding our efforts while this was going on, basically stating that they have never seen these commissioners take a thrashing like they did.
Oh, people go in there and just kiss their ass.
Yeah, so, folks, this stuff is real. Now, let me explain to you.
Jeff, I want to go back.
I want to just explain this.
I want to go back.
Let me just explain this. Very important.
Go ahead.
Now, I was watching part of the show on the way down here, and I heard Alex say, and this is so true, that these governments now are engaged at all levels in criminal activity. So what they are doing now to protect themselves, from the lowest levels all the way up to the World Order boys, is they are now hiring these enforcement officers, these SWAT mechanisms, and they are actually using them. They're stealing from us and hiring these SWAT enforcers as their bodyguards because they realize that they are engaged in criminal activity, and to protect themselves from the public, they are employing these mechanisms.
Well, even the scarier part, and I actually didn't do the camera shot right. We get a little bit wider shot if we want later. Looks like me and Jeff are sardines in here. What I wanted to say is that this, I literally a year ago didn't understand quite how bad it was. Just a few months ago, KVUE 24 did a piece where they called you or linked you to domestic terrorism, which is just absolutely asinine.
Yeah.
And then the day after that, Mr. Hanson's wife was pulled over in her brand new automobile with no bumper stickers that said "I'm in the militia" or something, because they're not. These people are just totally decent, middle America, and militia's not a bad thing if it's not a government, provocateur agency. But let's get past that. They were pulled over and they were asked questions. Questions. They were asked all types of questions. She was about a mile from her home on the main road to her house. They were waiting for her. A day after this newscast, they showed Mike's picture, and they said, out-of-town militia, charismatic leaders, domestic terrorists. Mr. Hanson was born in Travis County. So there's no out-of-town militia I've ever seen around here. I don't know what they're talking about. We're just people that love this country and love our Constitution and like local control and people having control of their lives. So this is a couple months ago. And that's why Mike just blew up when a constable came out to his house, trespassed. They have a nice home. They have to have a fence up around it because there's cows in the neighborhood out in the country, and the cows are always getting into his wife's huge flower garden and Japanese bridge over a creek. These are good people. I can't, with vicious, Dalmatians and Labradors and collies. I mean, they're just evil people that need to be stopped. I agree with the SWAT team. Now, I'm being sarcastic here. And then now, this is happening. We go down to the commissioner's court, and I said I was going down there in a nice way. I said I'm going down to the commissioner's court. Y'all can join me. And there's SWAT teams swarming around. If Elshire,
it's amazing, isn't it?
If Elshire and those guys are not drunk, they're drunk on their power.
So afraid of just a feeble little talking radio host. That's what it amounts to.
Yeah.
Because they are engaged in all kinds of criminal activity, and they know it. So to protect themselves from the public, this is where we've deteriorated to now. So, folks, I want to just say that it is happening in Central Texas. It is happening. We are at a point here where we are waking people up, thanks to people like Alex and Mike Hanson and Wes Curtis and all of the people who are stepping forward. All those people that were down there today stepping forward. And it's happening, folks. And it's going to take a lot, I would say, to turn this thing back around, short of... some of us, a couple of us getting sick, or some type of some type of tactic that they could use to disrupt things. And right now, I believe you're starting to, you're already seeing the discrediting, demonizing mode, which actually, Alex, is kind of a compliment.
It's a huge compliment.
Yeah, it means that this movement has arrived here in Central Texas. Now, you and I were talking privately earlier today, going to Mike's, about how 5 years ago when I started talking like this, I was the catalyst, and no one knew what I was talking about, and it was kind of fun in a way. But then again, a lot of people weren't taking it seriously.
Well, I'll tell you, Jeff, 5 years ago...
Now that things are popping up...
5 years ago, I was watching C-SPAN reading, and I'd come to all these realizations, but I still believed in the system. I still thought that there was decentness in it. And I still think there is some decentness. But if you have a latrine full of pig crap, just because there is, one little speck in it that's clean doesn't mean it's a good thing. One drop of poison in water will kill you. I mean, this system is so corrupt, and the problem is that this thing gets more evil as you go towards the top. When you hit the pinnacle of this sucker, transnational people that finance wars and destroy whole cultures, you're talking about the prime evil itself. Let's tell them a little bit about the people that really run the whole system.
Well, let me first preface that with the fact that how this thing works, Alex, and you know this, but most of the people that we saw down here today, they don't own Federal Reserve stock. No, that's true. That little Margaret Gomez and these people, there'll probably be a lot of them will be voted out of office and they'll be out of the mechanism. But so the point is this: basically, what you've got here is a huge Roman Empire, where a lot of people are just sucking the system.
Well, first of all, tell them what.
And they don't have
tell them what Roman Empire means. It means a criminal consortium, and let's talk about let's say not the Republic of Rome, but the declining Rome, where all you've got is the strong consolidated with their henchmen feeding off the weak, even though it destroys the civilization. It's called organized crime on a grand scale.
Yeah, that's what it is. And unfortunately, what we face right now, however, the process is starting to elevate a little bit, are people who lack the moral courage, Alex, to stand up against it.
They want to do what's popular.
In other words, they want
to do what's popular, what the peer pressure says, and until they see it come off their CBS or their NBC or their ABC or their CNN, which is, literally, Time Warner's part owned by the United Nations now. That was even in the mainstream press. When I talk about the UN,
weren't already.
Yeah, exactly. When I talk about the UN taking over, you got the Austin American Statesman right here, Model UN Conference, set at UT, the 4th annual conference. High school students learn about the United Nations by acting diplomats and ambassadors. They're not teaching them about the Constitution. They're teaching them about world law. These are the foreign banks run the UN. The UN isn't going to take over. It's only one finger on the fist. Well, explain to them. This is real. It's in their face.
Sure. And we were talking. Well, let me just mention. Yeah, it's absolutely real. That's why that's why what's going on is what's happening. Let me just mention a couple of quick things while I'm on this program as a guest here.
We're in deep trouble.
As far as we both get a lot of calls on our comment line.
Hundreds a week.
Yeah, and I'm to the point now, folks, where I don't want to hear any more attaboys. Jeff, you're doing a good job. Alex, you're doing a good job. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear a little criticism about my roll-in being too long, or some of the
If you got a better idea, come down here and get your Access TV license, get your own show, and you may be on FM radio before you know it.
Or better yet, instead of telling Jeff Davis and Alex Jones to go find this story, send the story to us. In other words, the point is, folks, we are engaged in a war here.
Get off your ass.
For liberty. Particularly Alex, spends a lot of time doing this, and I'm glad that he does. I spend lesser time, but there's a lot of people doing a lot of things fighting this corruption.
The Ritters, the Cobbs.
Lots of people that are stepping forward, right.
Curtis.
There's like 20-some people now volunteering in these seminars. In fact, there's a set that got broke down like in 15 minutes last month.
It's huge set.
Okay, we need hundreds and thousands to turn this thing around. This problem, this criminal conspiracy, is much bigger than Jeff Davis or Alex Jones.
I want to make a point. This is great.
So don't say don't ask us what we can do, what we need to do. You do it. You go get the information.
But something I want to tell them is that this is the psychology of the modern age. It's the instant gratification. You're not going to go to Texas Best Seminars, free open to the public meeting, and solve the world's problems.
No.
You're not going to get an Access TV show and solve the world's problems.
Right.
You're not going to get an FM radio show that's highly rated and save all the world's problems. You're not going to get on the national news and save all the problems. You're not getting on the local news. It's all of us doing something.
It's going to take
and
millions.
look, it's morale. It's defying. You're not going to have instant gratification. You've got to stick to it and keep pushing and keep plugging and have a crusade for some at least a honest debate.
Yes, it's going to take millions. When we were down at this commissioner's thing today, did you notice that there was very little exchange from the elected so-called servants? They sat up there and they listened to us.
Well, Elshire took telephone calls.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the kind of engagement that you're getting, folks. So I also heard another caller before I come in talking about writing your congressman. To me, this is going into a deep hole. We're wasting time and energy with these types of things. What we need to do is become like, and you appropriately answered it, we must become teachers. Folks, we're talking about liberty here. Your liberty is at stake. We are at 50-some plus weight of our resources being sucked off from taxes.
I hear the new numbers is 62%.
The Bill of Rights has been flushed down the toilet. There is no Bill of Rights. The 10th Amendment is gone. There's no states' rights.
But Jeff, it is not just the system. A lot of people say, okay, it's the system. Tell them who is orchestrating it from the very top.
Well, it comes down to the international bankers, and it comes down to people who own stock in the World Bank. We know this. It's it's the Rothschilds. It's Juan Carlos, King of Spain.
It's the parasites.
Edgar Bronfman. Yeah, people who have acquired their wealth and power through fraud. In other words, they don't go out and start a business and a legitimate enterprise and acquire their wealth and prosperity through legitimate business means. These people have set up debt usury money systems and have acquired their wealth through fraud. And but again, Alex, don't you agree? We need that largely, if you look in the mirror, wouldn't you say that the people are at least partly responsible?
Our establishment mirrors us because we
are allowing it.
Well, the establishment plows more and more of its resources into media and conditioning, and it's always telling you nothing counts. You can't change anything. Just lay down. Just feel good. Just drug yourself.
Go to the sports arenas. All of this.
And we go to the sports arenas,
sure.
but the next day we know you can have both, my friends.
Sure, women, wine, song. You can have all those things. But where we're failing, folks, is our liberty. We are losing this war for this country.
Well, at a certain point,
our real freedom.
Hold on, too much. I mean, you're a married man with a happy family with kids. Too much women, too much wine, and too much song. You know, if you just do it in wantonness, will destroy you.
Well, I don't know. Solomon had 700 wives. He was the wisest man in the book. But anyway, folks, we are losing this war. Sure, we might know all the players on the...
I want to tell you something. There's a lot of indication that Solomon went to hell, but I don't want to get into that.
Okay. But let me just mention that sure, you might know all of the players that are playing on the Super Bowl coming up. You might know all that. You might know all the sports teams, the basketball teams.
But you can't figure out the facts of who runs this world.
You don't know what the Bill of Rights represents. You don't know what this country's founded upon. You don't know what real liberty is. These are the issues where we're losing, folks.
Garbage in, garbage out.
This is the issue where we are losing.
You have been manipulated from day one, from cradle to grave. You have been taught that to be compassionate. Hold on.
Go ahead.
That to be compassionate is to submit and to lay down to the will of those that know better for the collective. If there is no individual right, there is no collective right. We are the smallest unit of this society. And when they elevate animals and the environment up to the level of humans, the animals can't speak for themselves, so the UN has to speak for them. The federal government has to speak for them.
Commission.
Yes, and there's more animals than there are us, so they outvote us. It's all manipulation. These criminals that I wouldn't even call them international bankers, international con artists, who have bought up most of your good banks, bought up most of your credit, bought up everything of any significance, the credit card companies.
Actually, they consider themselves God.
Yes, they do. They consider us.
And the way they manipulate people around, it's almost appropriate. And the reason why I came on the show tonight to tell you all this is that time is running out. One of these days, if this system is not turned around, you're gonna remember.
We'll be in another Nazi Germany, another Stalinist Russia, another Maoist.
You're going to remember
China.
Jeff Davis and Alex Jones and people like us and you're going to say, by golly, those guys, those kooks, or whatever you're thinking, some of you are thinking that we are, by golly, those guys were right. You're going to find yourself...
Hold on, Jeff, so many of the people that disagree with us are so dumbed down, and they have absolutely no critical thinking.
I'm not concerned about that.
I'm trying to say something to them.
Yeah.
Okay? They will never even know that they were defeated. They will never even know that what they've been sucked into. And you hear the same thing out of their mouth. Oh, you read Soldier of Fortune. Oh, you believe in black helicopters.
Which is a front magazine, by the way.
Yes, exactly. It's a front magazine. So.
I wouldn't read it.
Yeah, so, exactly. New American's great. You can sit there and, it's a great source of information. You can sit there and, deal with this any way you want out there. But basically, you better start doing some soul searching. You better start thinking past just the popular BS.
Oh, yeah.
And you need to do it right now.
Time is short.
I promised the callers that we go to them at 20 minutes left. Hello, you're on the air.
Alex.
Yeah.
Jeff. You guys are hitting everything right on the head, man. But I'll tell you what, Alex, if you don't pursue what just happened to you today, I'm going to come down here and kick your butt, brother. Because this is right in your hand now. The ball is in your court.
Well, I tell you, man,
you need to. This will allow a lot of people to wake up.
Well, what are you going to do if they plant drugs in my car?
What will I do?
Yeah.
I'll go down to the police station right there, then and there. I wish I wish I was there today with you guys. Okay, number one, I could have brought about 50 guys with me, whatever. We need to get together more and more. People need to get... Alex, you guys are hitting everything right on the head. Hey, I know if they plant shit in your car, people are going to wake up more. They are falling into the trap by stopping Mike Hanson's wife a couple of months ago. They're falling into the trap by going to his house the other day and wondering why his kid isn't in school when he's an 11-year-old A student and only missed one day. They're falling into the trap when they come up to you with the SWAT team. They're falling into the trap. It's in your face, okay? Like you've been saying.
And this was a political meeting. This was at the commissioner's court.
It's amazing.
I made no threats. I walked in and sat down the front row, and that wasn't enough for the SWAT team. They had to show off.
Well, you need to pursue this big time, brother, and if you don't, I'm coming down there and kick your butt.
Well,
I'm serious.
Well, appreciate that call. Well, for those of you out there that are just tuning in, I played it earlier, them at the commissioner's court coming up and giving me this printout of fire in the theater, false alarm or report, and telling me that if I did anything, they read me the riot act at the court when I had no history of this.
Yeah, they gave me one of them too.
Yeah, and it's just, well, they come over and sit down beside you, and
I was in the back. I got there late.
Yeah.
But I certainly noticed them. You can't miss them when you walk in there. They look like the inquisitors of the Catholic Inquisition.
It's pretty disgusting.
But let me just.
Did they tell you they'd throw you in jail if you caused any problems? Because I want to get other people involved in this.
I didn't talk to them. I stayed. I could say I got there late. I stayed away from them. Stayed away from most everybody because I knew that we. I mean, as soon as you walked in that place, the eyes. I mean, the evil looks that you received.
Did you see the footage that I played?
It wasn't even a SWAT guys. It was a bureaucrat. As soon as you walk in there, boy, they're just.
Did you see the footage that we played the Ritters of the police on the roof and things? We didn't get some of the best footage, but you see them, they were up on the roof with their...
I might have been on my way down at the time.
I mean, we're dangerous. They have to put police on the roof for us.
They really had to. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, they had them all over the
place. Oh, that's lovely. It's in everybody's in best interest.
They're wearing black, my friends, with combat boots. Let's go to a caller. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, that's me. Oh, my goodness. I think you're right to be afraid of these people. My husband and I have been fighting them for 3 years now. We just had our window kicked in on our truck last night. We've talked with you before. We've been invited on the show. Frankly, we were afraid to come because of the retaliation that we've gotten. Ultimately, it's a long story. It started in the criminal court system with a DWI, bogus blood test, an attorney who handed my husband over to them. Because of the corruption at the higher levels, they know they can get away with whatever they want at the lower levels.
Well, let me just comment on that. Ma'am, I'm not trying to insult you or anything like that. However, if you get to a point where you are afraid to speak your mind or to say something, you're already living in tyranny.
We've been living in hell for 3 years over this shit. My husband just got out of jail. Ultimately, we found that it's a policy in this county for people not to take the oaths of office. In fact, I've got 3 certified copies of blank oaths that Alshire signed here. As soon as we found that out, it got much worse. We've had attorneys tell us to run. It's been real bad. It's been awful, and we're thinking about leaving.
Do you have to get an outside attorney like Gary Spence or somebody?
We called him. They wouldn't. We did call him. We spoke with Ray
I don't trust
Fortain.
him either.
We spoke with him. We spoke with Dershowitz. Eric Mobius has actually been helpful to us. He's a good friend. I can honestly say we're down to about 2 good friends, but they're good friends. And
well, I mean, I'm telling you, I think there's mainly good police, but definitely they're surrounding themselves in the SWAT element and things.
And I think they are hiring more mindless blockheads, that will just go kill and do, like grunt type, like the old military.
Charge that hill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like the old grunt type, where they.
And instead it's some pregnant woman holding her baby on the front porch, like
I want
Vicky
to take
Weaver.
exception to that. The caller, the prior to this young lady here.
Yeah.
I'm not so convinced yet, Alex, that if they moved in on people, on patriots, that there would be a huge outcry. Because just between you and me,
people are cowards.
Just between you and me, I believe that Rick McLaren and those people sitting over there at Fort Davis and the Presidio County Jail are largely political criminals. And I don't see a huge.
I agree, they are.
I don't see a huge outcry. So where's the outcry?
Appreciate your call. Well, I want to say one thing about this whole Republic of Texas deal. I've talked to Rick McLaren. They seem like decent people. I know that was a whole setup. There was no shootout.
There was no kidnapping.
It was the other guy firing at them. He was a government informant. It's like this in every case. Hell. Going on right now today, Texas Monthly. Texas Monthly's got an article in it about FBI provocateurs controlling the Ku Klux Klan in North Texas and making up this so-called exposed bomb deal. That's this month's Texas Monthly. This is what we're talking about, and we can sit here all day and deal with this, but I have to tell you, I am not for leaving the Union, and I think they're wrong.
Well, I'm not talking about the strategies. I'm talking about 99 years in prison, man. The guy's life.
But a murderer gets about 5.
Yeah, the man's life is ruined. Not only them, you've got Branch Davidians that are sitting in prison.
Well, they definitely did.
And the jury even found them innocent. Some phony judge just said, well, we forget what the jury.
You know what I got a fact on?
We got Lyndon LaRouche people sitting in prison. Now, I don't happen to agree with everything Lyndon LaRouche says, but the fact is there's at least 6 of them that have been sitting in prison
There
now
are political prisoners.
for 5 years.
Let's go another call.
There's Black Panthers. There's.
Oh, okay. You want to put that?
Where's the? I mean, the people need to be outcrying for these people that are already being.
Let's go ahead and go to a caller.
That
Hello,
are
you're on
being,
the air.
Well, good evening again. Good to see you, Jeff. This is Recon.
What's going on, brother?
Oh, I tell you what, man. I'm just sitting here, just wishing to hell that people would start walking the walk. I hear lots of people talking about things and talking, but it's time to walk the walk.
Well, it's hard to do.
Get down on them, Alex. No, let me finish.
Okay,
get down on them.
Your second call of the evening. Go ahead, Robert.
Yes, thank you. You get down on them. You have a legal right. And this is exactly your forte. This is what you've been talking about. Think about what I'm saying, please.
I think I'm going to pursue this, Robert.
Do that.
And I appreciate your call. You're a good guy, but I got to get some more calls. Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, I used to go and battle against City Hall, City Council, and, one of the things when you go in there and you realize you're putting yourself on the line, you get a little nervous, you start thinking about what the heck you're doing, and, you start getting a little depressed and second-guessing yourself.
Let me ask you a question, caller. Do you know what I'm talking about when I talk about the bureaucrat intimidation smile? I walked in there when they saw me when I sat down in the front row. They all, especially Miss Gomez and other people, they started giving me this.
They look right through you like you're invisible.
Well, they started going.
Right.
And so I smiled back at them like that, and they quit. So
Actually, I didn't really get that.
He loves them.
No, I actually felt like there was a certain amount of respect to a point. However, I didn't get nervous and all that like you said. I actually, Alex, I actually kind of got a little depressed again. I think my speech indicated that I was emotionally drained, and the sad state of affairs that this world is in.
It is depressing.
It can really take you down.
Caller, do you have any more comments?
Yeah, 2 final comments. One, I wish you guys would get the terrorism bill signed in '97 on there on your show.
No, wait a minute. You can send Alex a copy of it.
Okay.
You do that.
The woman who called earlier about home.
You're talking about the 1997 omnibus?
You know, the one that says
Omnibus 2?
The one that says if you're the Terrorism Act they signed as a result of the Oklahoma bombing. The one that says if you're homeschooling, that's a characteristic of being a terrorist in the United States.
People that talk too much about the Constitution are terrorists.
Well, why don't you do me a favor, caller? Either send it to my P.O. box or to Alex's.
Okay, you guys put it up on the screen.
Okay, thank you. That's what we need. We don't need any more what we need to be doing. I've had it with that.
Several thousand years ago, somebody said keep the faith, and he kept the faith and fought the good fight. You guys keep it up.
Thank you, brother.
Well, I don't claim to be Jesus Christ or a prophet, but I would appreciate it if people would start coming forard and doing what it takes.
No, I'm not trying to aggravate him, but see, just the way that was worded. You guys need to.
It's a mentality. The government needs to do this for us. The policeman needs to do this for us.
This guy's doing enough, man. He's doing radio twice a week. He's down here twice a week. You know, I mean,
4 hours of radio a day.
Yeah, and I'm doing radio. I'm down here normally 2 times a week between my tape show and my live show. You know, we talk about this to people. We speak at seminars. I mean, we're doing what we can do.
We go burn UN
flags. We need help, man.
Yeah.
Don't call up here and tell us what we need to be doing.
We go and we burn.
You come help us.
We go and we burn UN flags to celebrate UN Day in our own way.
We got some more events coming up down the road here.
You know something? The newscast said that they had a small group of parents. There was a whole bunch of people there.
Oh yeah, that's another one of their little catchy. Yeah, there was about 30-some people in that place. And the media said there was a handful, like 5 of them.
Do you know how many people there usually are?
This is the type
at the commissioner's court. No one, but a bunch of filthy bureaucrats.
And this was a short notice deal. I think we could have gotten 100 or 150 down there had we, planned this a month in advance.
Well, I didn't really push it.
Yeah.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hello.
Yes.
How you doing?
My name's Kelly, and I've got quite a situation here in Travis County. We've got all 3 criminal county court laws are unconstitutional. They failed to subscribe to the oath of office as prescribed to by the Constitution of these United States.
But they're bureaucrat enforcement arms. That's what I'm saying. You've got a parallel government where the president signs things, governors sign things, mayors sign things, commissioners just sign it. They just appropriate it, and they've got an endless well of your money.
Well,
could you send us?
There's more. We've actually filed a complaint with the FBI.
Well, let me ask you a question.
And guess what else?
Send us a copy of that.
Haven't subscribed to their oaths either.
Well, let me ask you a question. Why don't you send us Can you send us a copy of this?
You've actually asked me to come on your show.
On my show?
Yes, sir.
Well, gut up and do it then.
Yeah, come on. Then give us some information. And
in fact, I'll put up my comment line later. It's 343-8513. It'll probably be jammed out today, but you can call me back on it tomorrow. People, you out there start doing something.
That's right. That's the whole point.
And listen, I'm not being mean to you guys out there, but it's really time.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I am getting sick and tired of the attaboys on my comment line. Don't even get called to mark my comment line.
Let's quit being mean. What I want to say is
I'm not being mean.
What I want more people to line up behind us.
To do things.
Yeah.
Not to line. They don't have to line up behind.
No, I'm not saying line up behind us. I'm saying line up behind us. So as we get tired or whatever happens to us, there's new people that have grown in the movement to step in.
That stuff can grind you down.
Yeah, I mean sometimes
even you. I mean, this guy's a young guy. I mean, he's got wrinkles on. He's got bags under his eyes today. I can understand why. We've been in front of the television now. Since 8 this morning?
I've been up since 6. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I was editing these pieces we did today. I was going around and getting tapes from people that taped it. And
I'm 37. I'm soon to be 38. I don't have the energy that you do.
I'm gonna tell you, I looked a lot younger 2 years ago before I started this. I have aged like a...
Hey, the wisdom will age you.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, wisdom will age you.
I don't have much of it. But...
Yeah.
Hello, you're on the air.
Alex.
Yeah.
Jeff.
How you doing?
Tony Vasquez.
What's going on?
I don't want to get into the Republic of Texas, but do you have anything to talk about?
Yeah, I know. You'll learn someday. Listen, I saw your piece yesterday on the Skull and Bones. Great piece, Alex.
Yeah, we played that on our special edition Friday, too.
Yeah.
And I want to just expand on that a little bit.
It's a secret society at Yale, a breeding ground for the banking elite, and it's a fact.
Okay.
But it's in our best.
Tony, we only got about 3 minutes left. So you need
Right, here's 1 minute. The elite, for those who are just starting to learn about this is what they control, okay? The education, the money, the law, politics, economy, history, psychology, philanthropy, medicine, religion, and the media.
And they do this, and I appreciate your call, they do this through so-called elite organizations. Oh, the best people that are funded by this foundation say this. They're the best scientists, the best ministers, the best teachers, the best writers. They say big global elite government's good, so it must be. Or they'll give you all these false little so-called revolutions that really just leads you into more slavery.
The easiest way to identify what's happening is anything that has, major significance, you can pretty well write it off.
Yeah.
It is something that they have either created or infiltrated. That's pretty easy.
Something that it's either,
and also
it's either
something like what your grandfather said. If they present something as white, consider it black. If they present somebody as good, consider it them a lot of normally bad, and vice versa. But what's black is white, and what's up is down, and what's left is right. Your grandfather said that, and that's well said.
He's a good guy. You've met him, you like him.
Yeah, I like him, yeah. In this world, folks, that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a system that's almost totally false on every front.
Well,
Alex, I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, Jeff, it was good having you
here.
Good
day here and good fight today. And,
I'm sorry, and you're right. I got 3 hours sleep last night.
Yeah, you've got circles under your eyes.
I didn't get out of here until like 1:30 last night because I was on TV till 12:30. Had to help break down in the other show. Then I got home.
This guy even edits, and this guy does things that I won't even do. He's down here editing, putting together all these documentaries. And
well, just a little.
You're doing some fantastic work.
Well, I got a real documentary I've been working on. See, I'm trying to do that good, and I got to take these other classes to do it right. And it's just
Mike Hanson's doing some. There's a lot of people that are doing a lot of good things, and that's why the things are unfolding in this town.
Our labor is bearing fruit.
Our labor is bearing fruit. The truth, my friends, cuts through all the lies of the world.
It'll set you free. And listen, you could think it's a torrent of lies and hard to defeat. Once you realize their pattern of manipulation, every story, the children, it's UN camp at the high schools and the colleges for the kids and the women.
The children.
For the women and the kids.
Or the environment.
The kids here, Buddy, the dog. But you go down to the commissioner's court, the SWAT team will try to.
Oh, did you hear about the story, the top story today in the news?
No.
If you have a gun permit, you're higher incidence of criminal behavior. That was a top story on all of them.
You know some top information they're not telling you? Every city, county, or state that gets a concealed handgun law, or even a openly displayed one, violent crime after 3 years drops 20%.
But that's not what they said today, Alex. They said the criminal activity amongst gun permit owners.
Do you know what it is?
Is worse.
Do you know what it is? It is the simple fact of. That all these Rockefeller and DuPont and Ford and Carnegie foundations are out funding all these BS
and also, by the way,
studies.
Did you know that CNN last week did 2 polls? Bill and Hillary Clinton were the most, how'd they put it?
Most admired
men and women in America. This is the kind of
fascist. Hold on, fascist. No, come on.
Okay,
fascist, yeah, I need to quit doing that myself. Okay. Fascist. These are fascist technicians trained in Europe to socialize your country. Socialism and communism is a movement of the economic transnational elite to consolidate wealth. It is not a movement of the downtrodden masses. Shake loose of your lies. Che Guevara was not a communist at the end of his life. I'm sick of all you dumbasses wearing Che Guevara shirts thinking he was a communist. He left Cuba, realized who ran the whole communist.
That's the guy you were showing me today?
Yeah. You see these little liberals running around, little social
There's the address. Send Alex some for the information. Don't call and sit that and say he needs
and if you see somebody getting violated or a good story, or you want to come on the show and you got the will, give me a call. It's time we all wake up. Long live the Constitution and the Republic for which it stands, and death to the New World Order. Death the idea of a transnational slave state.
Appreciate it, Alex.
I'm Alex Jones. I will see y'all next Tuesday, 8:30 to 11 p.m. right here, Channel 10.
God bless you.
That's it. All right, who wants to lead it? Let Gene go. Go ahead. Yes, sir. All right. God bless the Republic. Death to the New World Order.